Hello folks, time once again to do a daily target from the past. These are on CSSBattle.dev. These are daily targets from February 27th, 28th, and 29th of 2024. Let's get right to it. What are these objects? That's the question. Today I've been really feeling like I really like doing box shadow, so I want to try this with a box shadow. I looked at my prior solution to this one, and it was borders and backgrounds, borders and radial gradients on the background, and that was straightforward. But what would happen if we used instead a single object and then use box shadows? I think that might be fun. Let's try that. So we're going to set the colors. I don't know the width yet, so I'm going to set an aspect ratio of 1, border radius 50%, and that gets me a circle. Right now the width is height is 100. Let's set the margins to put that into position. 150, 142. So we've got more of the dark purple than the light purple in terms of margins. So let's do the color of that darker purple, or the middle purple. I guess the body also has a purple on it, and then or maybe it's black. So let's do box shadow. And we'll do the bright one first, because yes. Okay, so maybe 0, and then 100 pixels, and then the color. Boom. That's nice. And then minus 50 pixels, 50 pixels. There's the other one. And then 50 pixels, 50 pixels. Is that it? That might be it. Let's submit that and see if that's 100% match. I think it is. That's a pretty clean solution. And yes, I don't know if it's a better solution. I'm going to use width instead of height. I'm going to use my unit replacement plugin and minify and resubmit, and that's the solution. I'm not sure there's anything else that we can remove. Got to put it in position with the margins. We need a background on the body. That's it. Yeah, that's fun. We could change some units here. We could use Q instead of pixels, but I'm very content with that solution. All right, next. So this kind of complex multiple shapes kind of zigzagging around is definitely one that ends up being complicated. Today, do we want to try to use box shadows again? Actually, I don't see a way quite to do that with box shadows today. How about all elements? What if we do set a background of the darker color? Maybe the lighter color? Let's do the lighter color as the background. And then we'll cover it. And we'll have 2 or 3 elements. So how simply let's set margin minus 8, 0, 0, minus 8. We'll set a margin of this paragraph background red, a little bit of width 10, height 10. There it is. So why is it where it is? Oh, because I still have margin on the body. I was trying to remove that, or thinking about removing it, but I didn't say that out loud. So we're gonna just broadly try to cover that area and then see what we need to do that. So 0, minus 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 I think is the number. All right, and then 0 here, minus 6, 7, 8. think that's right. All right, so the width needs to be 1.8. There it is. And then the height needs to be 200 something. Oh, not 12,000. 200. Six. Oh, because I have multiple. I'm mistaking the height. 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 200, 230, 40, 50. Okay. So what do we need to do to get this shape? I feel today very inclined to use box shadow. Box shadow of what, minus 20 pixels, minus 20 of this color, and then minus 40, minus 40, and then that color. Does that do it? Nope. What am I doing wrong? Oh, because I need the word inset. I believe that's going to do what I want. There it is. Okay, so that gets you one. If I do another one, there it is. So what do I need to do to move that into place? So P, and we'll give it an attribute so we can address it. B, scale, -1. And then our margins there need to be, 0, 0, 0, 100 or something. And then we need to make sure that we're only looking at that one. Okay, so minus 180. And then more margin here. That's slowly moving this into place. And that's that. So then, what do we need to do the rest of this? I think we're gonna create a next element. I don't think that we can. Yeah. So this is PC. Okay, here's the C element. Now we've got optimizations to make here with regard to making some of these things variables, but I'm going to do background red, and then box shadow none, and let's do margin, and our height is going to be lower, right? So height we definitely need to change 40, margin minus, we'll do all four sides, and then do one at a time, minus 100, 200. So really I want to cover just this part. Yeah, just this part is what I would like to do next. All right, so we need to go up less 190, and then over some. And we got some odd numbers there. Okay, height 60, 80. And then our width is wrong, so that means that we probably need to set. Oh, so we did set a width here, so we probably need to set a width. Width. Oh, so we got an interesting problem. That is not covering the other one, and in the source order, that is not covering what I expected to cover. If I add a Z index, yeah, this is a problem. Because that width is not getting shown, because we can't see the full width of that element because it's not covering it, and that is bad. That is very bad. All right. So the question is what to do about that. I think that means that this solution is no good. So let's cut out part of this, right? That's kind of what we have to do. And I think to do that, today, what I want to do to cut that out is what? How about a clip path? Is it the most efficient? I don't know. Sometimes we do things that are not the most efficient. 100%, 0, 100%, 60 pixels, 100%, 80 pixels, maybe 100 pixels, and then I'm going to put a background of red on the body just so I can really, really, really see what I'm cutting out. And then 100%, 100%. Oh, no, that's not right. 60, we need to go 60, and then we need to go in 80%, 60 pixels. And then 80%, 100 pixels. And then 100%, 100%. And then 0, 100%. So that's a lot of, so there's a little cutout. The math is, the positions are wrong, but in principle, we've got the pieces that we want. So we need to move those down, right? That's the next thing we got to do. And I'm going to go ahead and not undo my red. I just wanted to make sure I was seeing something and I could see it right away because yeah. All right, so let's do the higher number first. This has got to come down. So anything that's 100 pixels, let's make it 200 pixels. And that's a little too low. How about 190? That looks pretty good. And so let's increase these numbers. How about 90 and 90 instead of 60 and 60? And then how about another 20 would be 110. And that's it. We have cut out those parts. And I don't think I see any other problems. So now what's left, that's the part that's uncovered. And so a linear gradient will do the job for us here. Now, yeah, linear gradient is good. I mean, if we wanted to be consistent, we could set a color on the body. And then use box shadows to do it. But no, I think a linear gradient is just cleaner, just generally. But it's light blue, dark blue, light blue, dark blue, and light blue. Again, lots of color stops. Those are all the color stops. We could also do a gradient that, repeated at this point, but then we had to add background position and a background height. Which is better? Depends on the gradient, depends on what you use in terms of color stops. All of the above. How about 40%, 0, 50%, 0, 70%. I'm just making up numbers here. 70, then 80%. These numbers are all wrong, unfortunately. And I have an extra comma preventing me from seeing anything. So that's what I've got right now. It's a mess, but let's adjust those numbers and get them right. 34, 35, 6, 5, 0.5, How about 100 pixels? 110 pixels, 120, 110. There it is. And then that 50% is 40, 44, 41, 42. Probably not good enough, but we're going to take it for now. And then that makes this probably 58 or 62, 68. Oh, and I guess we need to put it in a little bit more too, right? Don't we? Yeah, we do. So we need to be pixel perfect on the cutout. But you can kind of see what I'm getting at there. Okay, and then this number is just way wrong. Way wrong. Okay. Then that number... Yeah, so these percentages are just not working. 130 pixels, 150 pixels, 60, 70. Those are just so much better than the percentage values. 190 pixels. Yeah, so that's correct. All right, so this cutout is not at 80%. It is actually a little bit lower. Can we get away with using a percentage? Let's find out. 78. Oh, a little further over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 87, 87, 88, 88, 89, 89, 89% over. Okay, let's submit that and see if we've got it. It is a convoluted solution in many ways. It's 99.9%, so not good enough. So the question is, what have I got wrong? Is it going to be one of these percentages, or do I have a margin that's wrong because I'm using these margins that are negative? What if I do margin 0 and then make this margin 0 as well, and then simplify these? Is that any better? Nope, it's a 99.9% solution. Oh, and look at that. We've got, you can kind of see right here, it's just not quite cut out correctly. So I think that that's this. Again, percentages are great, but they have an imprecision that is no good. 180. Let's try that. I think that'll have done it. So great. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a star variable to do margin of a var -m or 0, and I can remove that and remove that, and then the second one can be -m, and that gets it. I didn't set the color, so I do need the values here. I'm going to do my unit replace and minify and resubmit, and that's done. It's also possible I can eliminate these 2 zeros on the margin value for the second element. Yeah, and I can. That's great. Anything else? Space before a hash mark you can remove. These color stops all look good still. And submit. Oh, and then also my personal preferences. Since we don't have to use 3 paragraph tags, I'm going to remove the B attribute and then use the sibling selector. Just a slight aesthetic preference that sometimes is, I think it's, would also give me a better score. Oh, error at CSS Battle. Temporary, usually. But they are really great when there are problems in the app. You just send them an email and they will let you know when they fix it. So pretty great, really great service. I enjoy the Plus membership, which is what allowed, like I said, it's what allows me to use these old battles. All right, next. Look at this guy. So I remember being very irritated and having a hard time with this one. I think it's a single element. Let's see. I've done it. I think I've done this one several different ways. Let's do a linear gradient. And we're just going to put blue and blue, just so we can see the darn thing. And we're going to need, but we won't do yet, a radial. What am I trying to say? A border radius to get those curves, to make this, I guess it's a pill shape or it's an anchor. I don't know what the shape is, but it's pretty wacky. All right, how's our height? Height is 100, and we would like it to be 2, 20, 30, 40, 50. That looks right. How about a border radius? And our width is defined by our margins, right? We set margins, and that gets us what we want. 40 pixels, 50, 60, 70, 80. So 80 pixels. What if we do it in Q and it's slightly different? 1, 2, 3, 4, and that looks about the same. That will be the first to go if that's no good. I could be using a border here. I'm choosing not to. Again, preference. All right. So rather than a linear gradient, I'm going to start with a conic gradient. If I can spell conic gradient, and I'm going to say we're going to go over 40 pixels, 0, and then have it be 100 pixels wide, something like that. And it's going to be where do we start this? Oh, yeah, no, actually I was wrong. We will do it in the upper corner, and we'll be 100 pixels wide, and we'll start with the light color 50%, and then the dark color 0, 75%, and then the light color again. Is that right? Let's find out. So yes, we're kind of getting it, but the at value and the width of this is no good, so we're going to do a no repeat so that we can see what the heck we've got. So the width is too wide. We can see that because it's not going over. And again, no repeat helps me understand what the conic gradient is and whether it's too big or too small. 90, so it is 90 pixels wide for the gradient that I'm defining, and it's not quite in dead center. We'll try percentages again, even though, you know, 45, 46, 47, 48. That looks pretty good. 81, 82, 75, 76, 77, 78. So this is the first part. So what next? I guess, so I'm gonna, on the body, I'm gonna put this here. If I do this color as transparent, I can see through to the background. Then I have choices. I can put this radial gradient, and again, I'm not choosing to do a border on the element. I can put this semicircle on the body, or I can put it as part of the background here. Or do I have other choices? That's sort of the interesting question. I tell you today, I definitely am feeling the, I'm more curious than anything, because I haven't done it. If I do a box shadow, what do I get? I don't know. Minus 20 pixels. Oh, look at that. So that's sort of interesting, right? And it wouldn't be there. It would be 20 pixels. So that's kind of fun, right? Like, that's kind of an almost. If I do it as an inset, yeah, that doesn't work, right? But certainly a fun exercise. Yeah, I'm glad I looked at that, but that is not a solution to my problem, to what I'm trying to do. So no good. I think I feel inclined to do it as to do this bottom thing as a radial gradient. Circle, at, and then it's at the bottom. Actually at the top, but we need to move it down. So circle at 50% 0. And is that redundant? No, 50% 0 is what we need. And then it's transparent in the middle, and then light blue. And so you can see that now. I'm going to do 20 pixels 0. No, 20 pixels is not right. How about 60 pixels? Interesting. So what's, oh, because I haven't moved it down. So 50%, there it is. So that's a piece of it. It's not quite right, is it? No, it's not. But it's sort of in the fun category. And then what if we do repeat Y instead? No, repeat X. That's how we get that hook appearance. Then what? So, okay, fun. Who cares? The question is what to do next. If we create okay, so if we do a background here on the body that encompasses from here to here, can we get a radial gradient that does what we want there? I kind of think no, but maybe. And I also feel, inclined. Why not just do it on the body? The math is going to be slightly easier. So let's do radial gradient at, we'll start with an at 10 pixels, and I think we know it's like at 170 pixels, 170 pixels, px pixels, and it's a circle, and then it's the light blue, and we'll call that 20 pixels, and then transparent. There it is. So that's the nub. And we do 0, 80 pixels. That's the idea. It's wrong, but it is close. 10. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and put that dark on the body again, so you can see what's happening there. And if we move it up, vertically. 5. We've still got little bits and pieces, though, that we need to do. So that's what we've actually created with 1, 2, 3 gradients. But we've still got a little bit there that is just not quite right. And unfortunately, we can't make it part of the conic gradient, really. Can we? Or can we? Now, one way or the other, it has to be accounted for. Okay, so I think that means it's probably a linear gradient. Linear gradient. And this is got a 10 pixel radius, so it's 20 pixels. It's coming in from the side, 90 degrees. That color, that's not the color. The light blue, 20 pixels, and then transparent. And it's at 0. Yeah. And actually it needs a vertical, so 150 pixels. And just to keep us not crazy, we're going to do red so we can see it really, really well. And the width of that also is going to be 140 pixels. And then the height needs to be a specific height. Maybe it's 30 pixels, and it's got to repeat only on the y-axis, or only on the x-axis. That's what I mean. There we go. And that's how you get that. And yeah, the red thing is goofy, but it helps me see, man. So that's why I do it. Okay, let's submit. Adding borders, adding a background color, often very helpful in debugging circumstances. Of course, now we have great dev tools in our browsers to identify, select an element, select a chunk of code. But in the old days, before dev tools, which were pioneered by Mozilla, like, yeah, you were on your own, and it was pretty tricky to debug things, but demand very quickly arose to, hey, make these tools so that we can actually see the elements that we're modifying. This is just vitally important for that to occur. And are we done? I think we're done. That's great. Very fun set of ways to use different aspects. All gradients on this last one, and then I'm a big fan of. I've been experimenting with inset box shadows. Very fun, can get great effects. Side effects, you gotta look out for those, but it's a lot of fun. A lot of fun. All right, have a great day. Take care of yourself. Make stuff on the web. The web is theirs and yours to use. Make a web page. You can personally identify yourself. You can make something pseudonymously too. You can make a pseudonym for yourself. Make an identity. Take care. It's rough out there. Bye.